1v1 Jarilo's Forge. Blue side is zoukka, plays a Hive Tyrant, very durable commander, walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good offense and support with some good disruption as well from the front lines, fights in melee combat. Up against, on the red side, is Kvek, plays a Lord General, fights range combat, begins with his retinue of stormtroopers to help him out. Very good defense and support abilities. Jarilo's Forge then, none of these VPs natural, running northeast to southwest, a very cool 1v1 map, added lately in Elite mod. Double termagants for zoukka as you'd expect. Kvek going for guardsman into a sentinel, and sentinels are a bit wonky in beta 5. I assume he knows this already. Lord General capping mid. Gonna have run-ins at both of the other VPs. I think termagants versus guardsman. Here comes the big scary Hive Tyrant knocking everything over. These guys are now shooting at some barrels, which is not going to help them out. There's a special attack from the Hive Tyrant, and he has a pretty good one. Quick animation, 360 knockback, and a decent amount of damage on it as well, I think. Hormagaunts running into these guardsmen. They don't really want to fight anything in melee combat, and Hormagaunts will eat them up. There's a sentinel. We do have a sergeant on the first guardsman squad. Lord General can be used to tie things up quite nicely in melee combat at the start of games. Things like termagants, shooters, and dire avengers he can deal with in melee combat, or at least stop them from being a threat. I have Tyrants chasing him down now. Sentinel in turn chasing the Hive Tyrant down. He's down to half hit points. Starts with 1080, the highest of all the commanders to begin with. 487, 500, 1-to-1 cap. Hive Tyrant needs to be careful here. Zoukka does retreat him. And there's the double repair on the Sentinel, which took quite a lot of damage there. We have Toxin Sacks up immediately on both the termagants. Usually a player will try to get out a Warrior Brood or something in 1v1s before he gets double Toxin Sacks, but not in this case. No sign of any Spore Mines either. Sentinel still under pressure despite the double repair, and no sign of the ground pound upgrade. Will he bother getting it at all? 487, 500, I assume he will. He needs a way to deal with these Hormagaunts. The Sentinel's going to go down here. Down it goes. Gets eaten by Hormagaunts, who now go after the Lord General. He will die last, so it is usually pretty difficult to take down. Both of his retinue members are eaten alive, and he lives. Early engagements, not a lot of capping, everything uncapped here. So 1-to-1 though, and some power harass early on from zoukka Catachans on the way for Kvek, which is what he needs really, because those Hormagaunts have free reign right now and are doing very well, getting away with one model. They do have adrenal glands as well, so they're a bit more dangerous. Get that passive charge leap as you see from the tooltip, and increased health and damage. The Hive Tyrant has nothing yet. Lord General getting back his stormtroopers, and it's termagants versus guardsmen here. These guys trying to decap mid, and there you see him trying to force melee combat but getting snared by the crippling poison, and another crippling poison. Doesn't quite finish the decap though. Zoukka. Here comes the Hive Tyrant. Catachans are going. Are they coming mid? I think they are. 487, 500. Zoukka gets up a generator. No sign of anything else. He's upgraded all of his termagants and his Hormagaunts so far. There are the Catachans, very versatile infantry in tier 1. Can support, can disrupt, and can counter melee squads. They have power weapons as well, so if you go after a level 1 commander, you can do some serious damage. Hive Tyrant does have the extended carapace. You saw the charge there. 487, 500. You might see him get Rending Talons as well. Look at the damage from those Catachans as he retreats. Wow. Termagants need to run away there, avoiding the knockback from the shotgun blast by retreating at the right time. 487, 498. 2-to-1. They're going to put up an improvised explosive. There it is. Kvek can now set that off by clicking that icon, and it's an infiltrated explosive, so zoukka needs some warriors on the field to spot it in time. Surely he will, knowing that there's Catachans around. He must expect an improvised explosive or two. or 3 Hormagaunts with that passive leap of theirs from adrenal glands. They can also leap over cover if they're in basic synapse, so they suddenly can become a pretty mobile and dangerous unit. 487, 474 did not want to try and fight Catachan, so that was a huge mistake from Zoukka. And he loses an upgraded Hormagaunt Brood. That was not good. Warrior Brood is on the way. It's taking him a lot of time to get this on the field, going for triple gens and upgrades first. Here is the Warrior Brood, a heavy infantry squad that leap into combat. They have power weapons by default and grant a basic synapse. You can get a couple of upgrades for them, and in fact we see the Barbed Strangler immediately. Pretty expensive upgrade at 25 power, but it is a very powerful weapon. Instant suppression and a decent amount of damage as well. Gonna really hurt the double guardsmen for sure, and Catachans if they try and close for melee combat. Lord General does have options though. He can just melee the warriors himself, or try and get the Catachans in there to try and stop that Barbed Strangler from being fired, but he's going to get at least one shot, you would think, and there is the shot on the Lord General. There's another one. Keeps the suppression on him. 486, 474. Might see a big engagement. Kvek is avoiding it so far. It's a good choice with that charging Hive Tyrant and that Barbed Strangler. He is at a disadvantage, I think, in this engagement. Double Termagants putting out a reasonable amount of damage as well with their upgrade. Couldn't quite hit the Catachans there with the Barbed Strangler. 486, 474. What's this? Guardsman taking that natural power. Catachan is taking big chunks of health out of him. Is that Barbed Strangler? Hive Tyrant on his way to level 2. Lord General is level 2. 486, 474. Catachans going up against the Hive Tyrant, doing a lot of damage in melee combat to him with those power weapons that they have. 20 damage per swing, I believe it is. 486, 474, and down goes the Hive Tyrant. He needed his Rending Talons there, and the Warrior Brood in trouble. Retreating with 3 models, very lucky to get away without a loss there. 150 hit points between 3 models. Double Termagants meanwhile were shooting up generators. Here come Guardsmen to try and force melee combat. Can they finish off that last one? Surely. There we go. One more generator up, and a node has been destroyed as well. Catachans run away. Look how much models they have with 125 hit points. That's crazy. Guardsmen down to 7, down to 5 models now. Really being outshot by these Termagants. Lord General doing his best to try and force melee combat on them, but they do well there, forcing off the Guardsmen also. 486, 474. The Hive Tyrant can drop a very nice brood nest from his global bar for just 100 red to support infantry anywhere in the field, and there it is. In fact, will take a few seconds to build itself, but once it's up, these Termagants will be able to reinforce, and they will receive a health regen bonus when they are close by. He's taken the garrison here, which could be a huge mistake here. All Reliable does nasty things to garrison. He's taken out 2 models there. Lord General levels to 3. Here comes the Hive Tyrant though. Catachans have already taken him down once. He is tier 2, as is Kvek. Termagants getting out of the garrison so that they can reinforce off the brood nest. Look at them pouring out of it. Catachans staying in this engagement a bit too long, I think, but they will get away. Level 2. 483, 474, a 2-ton cap for Kvek. He's going for a Chimera. Zoukka will most likely respond with a Venom Brood, but we might see a Tyrant Guard or something. Or maybe just a Zone Throat for the snare, and then Crushing Claws. There's a Creeping Barrage, but it will miss everything. 473, 474. Awesome global, I think. Some really good disruption from that thing can be incredibly annoying when you're just gearing up for an engagement and then that drops. And we do see the Crushing Claw on the Hive Tyrant. 108 heavy melee DPS. Surely it should be Crushing Claws. He does get 2 of them. Those big things you see there. 459, 474. Catachan is backing away. Lord General is there. And here's the Chimera. Support vehicle for Imperial Guard allows them to transport and reinforce allied infantry. Hive Tyrant is going after it, but needs to retreat. 445, 474. This wreck point is still uncapped. Triple gens up. We've seen no push at all towards zoukka's power. Kvek unable to force everything off the field. Those double termagants really held him up there. And here they are again. Can't do much to the Chimera. Lord General survives. They were trying to take him down, I think. And he loses the Termagant brood there. Apparently he tried to retreat and couldn't. He's just had a couple of misplays. Running those Hormagaunts into the Catachans and losing his Termagants there. Venom brood are up. Anti-vehicle squad have these Venom cannons. Very good DPS to vehicles and large targets. But they won't hurt infantry very often because they can't hit them. Can also grant a ranged synapse if you purchase the upgrade, and zoukka has replaced his lost termagants. I assume he's going to get toxin sacks again. 438, 461. Triple gens for both players, and node is down over here though. Warrior brood with barbed triangular forced off. We might see them switch to adrenal glands to give them those heavy melee weapons, because if Kvek's paying attention, he can just dodge every single barbed triangular by just getting inside the Chimera. What's he dropped here? A heavy turret right on zoukka's power. That is pretty spiteful. A global ability which is unique to the Lord General. No one else can get these things. Actually has vehicle armor. So you need anti-vehicle weapons to take it down, so you can't just run in with the flamer and deal with it. 438, 454. And the power is wiped out, nicely done by Kvek. Venom brood now coming in to put some pressure on Kvek's power, and these do good damage to structures. And there you see the ranged synapse buffing the damage and health of those termagants. 438, 442. Tyranids relying on various types of synapse to get their squads going. We just see, what is this? A capillary tower up. Hive Tyrant does get away. Creeping barrage, look how annoying that is. As I was saying, Tyranids relying on various types of synapse to scale their squads, but it's a bit different now that they can get squad leaders in tier 3 for Hormagaunts and Termagants. Kvek in the ascendancy now, I think, with that power wipe, and a heavy turret is still there. Going to take out the brood nest. Hive Tyrant really hasn't been able to get this crushing claw going against the Chimera. Kvek, if he's paying attention, I think he can just outright avoid the Hive Tyrant. He really needs that zone throat snare, I think. Has a lot of power though, zoukka. He has no reason to really repurchase those generators. 438, 403. Some decent Chimera play here from Kvek. These guardsmen now up to 12 models with their commissar leader will reinforce 3 at a time. There's that awesome synergy you get between Chimera and guardsmen. Capillary tower not shot down by Kvek, providing a speed buff and sight radius bonus for these nearby Tyranids. He's putting another brood nest up as well, and why not? Stormtroopers on the way for Kvek. Try and pick off that Venom brood from range with the assault kit perhaps. And the Lord General is now idle, having taken that power. There's that unreliable. Look at that disruption from range. That is a long range disruption. Level 2 Catachans. 432, 400, 2-to-1 cap. Hive Tyrant has finished capping mid, but he's not doing anything else. Here he comes. And he's gone tier 3 zoukka. That's a big decision. Not getting a zone throat pit. Another creeping barrage hits a single poor little Termagant, but he lives. Stormtroopers do have their assault kit, gives them a fragmentation grenade, and there it is. Zoukka not paying attention or just not seeing it, eats it and tanks the damage those Venom broods. Hive Tyrant runs away. Has been dealt with reasonably well by Kvek. Catachans with their all reliable again, all reinforcing of the Chimera. It's bleeding Kvek a little bit though. How much are they to reinforce? 29-3, not too bad. Double termagants there, too far away from the brood nest to reinforce from it. And here's that Barb Strangler warrior brood. Patrician's forcing melee combat now, trying to take down a Venom brood model, and there is that synapse backlash damage and a knockback on the termagants. He needs to retreat these guys. That is a very messy engagement. Loses a termagant brood again. Just staying in that engagement a bit too long, which he's done a couple of times. 4-3-2, 3-1-4. So really struggled to deal with this Chimera here. Got the Venom Brood and Crushing Claw, which you'd think would be enough anti-vehicle. Hive Tyrant charging into the heavy turret and starts to smack on it, and will take it down very quickly with those Crushing Claws. 4-3-2, 3-0-3. More termagants on the field. Level 4 Hive Tyrant. He has enough to drop a Tyranno formation. 4-3-2, 3-0-1, 1-to-1 cap. Lord General capping mid. Zoukka. Is he going to be able to get something nasty on the field quickly enough? Maybe a tier 3 Lictor would be good. Has heavy melee damage, could get some nice rear armor hits on the Chimera. Kvek is now destroying towers, as you should do every time you see them. They now give a decent amount of XP. 4-11, 3-0-1. Big Tyranid blob here. Maybe another heavy turret in the middle. He's gone for yet another creeping barrage. How many is that? 5? Hits a couple of termagants. In fact, a whole bunch of termagants. And lots of range firepower going in on them. 391, 301. Catachan's been sneaking annoying, but are forced off eventually. 388, 301. 2-to-1 for Kvek. What is Zoukka going to do here? Tier 3 Lictor, I think, will be pretty decent. Needs to be careful of the Catachans, but will put pressure on the Chimera, and he's really put very little pressure on it. Hive Tyrant trying to be sneaky, which doesn't quite work for the Hive Tyrant. He's charging in. Now goes after the Chimera, but he needs support here. Where's the rest of his stuff? Not sure what he's up to. There's a Tyranno formation. He's going to lose the Hive Tyrant though, but does take down the Chimera. The Hive Tyrant should go down in retreat. Down he goes. The Chimera is dealt with. Got the job done. Now Kvek has to destroy all these capillary towers. Is he even going to bother? Looks like no. And Kvek has been bled quite a lot. Reinforcing off the Chimera constantly. 360, 301. Another infestation tower. He's using them quite well, Zoukka, not spamming them needlessly. Another heavy turret. No, that was the Vox operator calling. You see the retinue member there, reinforcing all of this stuff for wreck and energy cost. Creeping barrage yet again. 2-to-1 cap for Zoukka. He's recovered well, taken down that Chimera. Now it's anyone's game pretty much. Does he wait for something nasty, Zoukka, or does he get like a Tyrant Guard or something? 360, 285. He maybe suspects that Kvek is tier 3, but he's not. Doesn't have any generators up either. He's going for a heavy weapon squad. Decent choice. Can try and focus down the Hive Tyrant if he tries to charge it. 360, 275. Or it could be just charged and forced off immediately. We will see. There's that suppression from the Barb Strangler. Now a lot more useful with that Chimera off the field. Lord General buffing his units with the sniper rifle. Fire on my target. Down goes that tower. 360, 274. We have termagants level 4 with the synapse leader. Now gives basic synapse to the squad, not ranged synapse. Does have a nice venom cannon though. 352, 274. Also had its hit points reduced, I think. Or was that just the Hormorborn one? Here's that heavy weapon squad. Warrior Brood are going to try and force melee combat on this thing. Didn't even need the Hive Tyrant to force it off. Just that wall of range firepower from these Tyranids. And Kvek now in a little bit of trouble, I think. Zoukka's going to cap up the mid. Or is he? Yes, is he going to repurchase his Hive Tyrant? Guess not. He's saving for something big. Or no, he does repurchase, and he should do as well. With Crushing Claw and Extended Carapace at level 5, you want this guy on the field. Gonna get the 2-to-1 bashing power again with the Venom Brood. 327, 274. What does Kvek do now? He's got no resources whatsoever. Just needs to make it work with what he's got. A well-timed frag grenade, perhaps. Catachin play needs to be good. 327, 274. Needs to get some synapse bombs going. Almost taking down a Warrior Brood member, but they do retreat in time. Yet another creeping barrage. Does hit some stuff. Termagant's thrown around. But have they really paid off? That squad is forced to retreat, so that was not bad. Can now cap mid. Hive Tyrant is capping bottom though. 327, 260. Zoukka, I think, waiting for a Carnifex, needs 20 power and 200 or so wreck. 327, 246. The heavy weapon squad is not firing for some reason. Oh, they're facing the other way, that's why injured. Termagants are shooting them up. They do have their refractor field, as you can see there, which prevents knockback. Venom Brood level 3. We do have plasma guns on the guardsmen, so they can deal out a lot of damage to the heavy infantry warrior broods. Trying to get some synapse bombs. We have it on both guardsmen. We do level 4 and level 3 as well, so they're doing some reasonable damage there. Hive Tyrant charging in. Look at the state of the ground because of all of the creeping barrages. Going after the Lord General himself is the Hive Tyrant. 322, 224. Catachins supporting themselves with the smoke grenade there, reducing the range damage that they take. I think it's by 50% now. There come Warrior Brood with Barbed Triangler and Termagants with the Warrior Leader, and a Doom of Malantite is on the way for Zoukka. 309, 224. Big range firefights here. Catachin is forced to retreat. Now this Warrior Brood is going to take a lot of damage. Kvek trying to dodge the suppression, does dodge it on his guardsman and forces off the little Tyranid blob. Well played, Kvek. Has the 2-to-1, 297, 224. Doom of Malantite going to hit the field momentarily, which is going to be pretty painful. Hive Tyrant 5.5 levels, Lord General's level 6, and here is the Doom of Malantite, a unique sub-commander for the Tyranids, a super unit, pretty much cannot level, really good at dealing with groups of infantry, and can be quite difficult to deal with, really. There's the Cataclysm, boom, knockback and damage over time, and that is painful. 275, 224. What is Kvek going to do to this thing? He can try and disrupt with Catachins and run in for melee combat, but that's much easier said than done with the Barbed Strangler and double Termagants around. Hive Tyrant decapping mid. Power again dealt with. Kvek really has struggled to keep his power going. Caps bottom with Guardsmen. Catachins, are they going to force melee combat on this Hive Tyrant? They are. That's very brave. There's another Cataclysm. The Doom of Malantite does not regenerate energy by itself. You need to use Spirit Leech or Absorb Life to get some energy back. 238, 222. A multi-lash turret going up at the bottom. Not sure how long that's going to last. Hive Tyrant's coming down, and he's pretty low on hit points. And that's a Plasma Guardsman squad with 12 models, or 11 even. And taking a lot of damage here is the Hive Tyrant. Is he going to lose him? He does lose him. Zoukka not paying attention. Too busy in mid. What is this heavy weapon squad up to? In melee combat with the Warrior Brood now. Forced off. The Stormtroopers do not get away. 238, 201. Losses all round. Double Termagants. So difficult to deal with when they have these tier 3 squad leader, especially at level 4. Over 2,600 hit points on that squad. Good grief. Guardsmen level 4 themselves. Almost 2,000 hit points on those guys. 238, 184. How is he going to deal with this Doom Malantite? Not easy. Maybe run some Ogryns into it. But again, that suppression and that snaring potential from zoukka makes that very difficult to do. Just needs a Lehman Russ or something, but how? Doesn't have the power to even think about going tier 3. The Doom Malantite's weakness is vehicles. Yet another creeping barrage. This one nicely hit, takes down the warrior brood surely. Yes, down they go. Nicely done by Kvek. Termagant brood chilling out by this bottom VP for some reason. 238, 159. They also have the endless swarm, of course, which takes them up to so many models. Carnifex on the way for zoukka. Manticore for Kvek now. That is his answer. I guess there's not much else he could have gone for. Ogryns are pretty risky versus the Doom Malantite with the Absorb Life and the Paroxysm doing so much damage to super heavy infantry. Nicely placed capillary tower there, and Kvek caps mid for a 2-to-1 perhaps. A very nice back and forth here, and the Manticore could swing this for Kvek. Cataclysm again, wow, doing big chunks of damage to those guardsmen. These guardsmen are going to try and decap the top, but he doesn't get the 2-to-1, unable to finish the cap on the middle. Heavy weapon squad hasn't really paid off, I don't think, just getting shot down. 437, 145. The Doom Malantite does have a Zone Throat like basic attack, doesn't do quite as much damage as a Zone Throat, but does heal it for each time it hits it, which is pretty nice. Lord General level 7 has lost his retinue and might go down here if he's not careful. Doom of Malantite has no melee attack, of course. Those little stubby arms can't do much. 214, 145. And the Termagants get into the building with a big warrior hanging out there. Nobody has any generators up. Carnifex on the field. What is he going to go for? A Thornback, I think, would be pretty devastating for Kvek right now. Could get a last cannon on this thing. Manticore strike, there it is. What's he gone for? He's gone for the garrison. Now zoukka knows there's a Manticore. He could try and go after it with his Hive Tyrant or the Carnifex or both. Looks like he's going after it straight away with the Carnifex. In its default state, it's a pretty nasty melee walker. Can get the Thornback, which boosts its health up to 1875. Going after that Manticore. Las cannon on the way for Kvek, yes. 175, 145. Boom. You can't charge. Oh, he's going for Thornback, which will allow it to charge. 174, 145. Manticore strike on the Carnifex. Does a lot of damage to vehicle armor. Boom. Carnifex caught in a sink kill. Pretty unlucky for Kvek. Would have done a lot more damage if it wasn't. The heavy weapon squad does get away though. 163, 145. 2-to-1 cap for Kvek. He's got some more stormtroopers. Anti-armor kit, yes. He's going to melter bomb them, then shoot his melter guns. And this might be a dead Carnifex right now. Can it take down the Manticore before it goes down though? Surely it can. Rear arm hit, down it goes. There's the melter bomb. There are the melter guns. Rippers tying up the stormtroopers might save the Carnifex here. Can it charge away? 155, 145. Rippers are so annoying to deal with. Very difficult to shoot them down because they're so small. Stormtroopers are caught in a pretty bad place here. 155, 141. The Carnifex survives. Manticore does not. Stormtroopers do live. Yes, with 2 models they get away. And zoukka now looking pretty good. The las cannon is pretty much the only threat they really need to deal with. These stormtroopers should be a lot more easier to deal with, and Kvek concedes. Zoukka takes it. Just didn't think he could recover with the Carnifex around. The Hive Tyrant could just charge the stormtroopers, or the las cannon take its pick. The Doom Malantite around as well. You really needed that push to take off and deal the damage to that Carnifex. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.